Out now. Hands up where I can see them, scumbag. Officer, I own this. Shut your mouth. You think I'm stupid? Guys like you don't own cars like this. You steal them. Sir, my registration is right here. I said, shut up. On your knees. Face in the dirt now. Hand shove hard between shoulder blades. The pavement burns hot against his cheek. His suit $200 tailored smears with dust and oil. Please, I'm just trying to run a scam. That's what fake papers stolen ride. You people always think you're so smart. The handcuffs snap tight. Too tight. Metal cut skin. A woman films from across the street. 2,000 people watch live. Then dispatch crackles through the radio, and the next 9 words will end a career. 13 minutes earlier, Arthur Sterling kisses his daughter goodbye at the door. Maya, 16, backpack slung over one shoulder, pauses on the porch. Dad, you're actually driving that thing to L.A. I earned it, he says. 25 years I'm allowed. She grins, rolls her eyes. Just don't speed. Love you. Love you too. The McLaren sits in the driveway like a sapphire dropped from the sky. Sterling worked field cases for a decade. Surveillance, stakeouts, freezing nights in unmarked vans, missed birthdays, missed anniversaries, climbed to deputy director at 51. The car isn't a flex, it's the finish line. His wife, Isabella, appears at the door, coffee mug in hand. Be careful out there, she says. Always am. I mean it, Arthur. People see that car, they see a target. He laughs it off. But she's not wrong. Last week, a white woman at the grocery store stared too long. At the gas station, a teenager asked if he was a rapper. At the mall, security followed him for 20 minutes. Maya once asked, "Why do people look at you weird when you drive it?" He didn't have a good answer. Now he slides into the driver's seat. Leather cool against his back. Engine hums to life. Smooth, powerful his. The garage door rises. Sunlight floods in. Riverside to Los Angeles. 90 minutes. He has a meeting at the FBI field office downtown. Routine coordination with local law enforcement agencies. Standard Thursday. The 91 freeway eastbound is light. The morning commute hasn't peaked yet. He merges smoothly. Left lane 70 port. Cruise control set. Classical music low on the speakers. Debussy. Claire de Lune. For 13 minutes, everything is normal. He thinks about the meeting agenda, about the federal grant applications sitting on his desk, about how the Riverside County Sheriff's Department submitted theirs late again, about the email from Captain Silas Thorne asking for an extension. Sterling approved it. Professional courtesy. He doesn't know Thorne's name will matter later. The McLaren glides past Corona. Traffic thickens slightly. A semi merges right. Sterling checks his mirror. Signals. Moves to the center lane. That's when the sirens start. Suddenly close. 3 patrol cars behind him. Black and white. Riverside County Sheriff. Sterling frowns. Checks his speedometer. 68. Under the limit. Checks his mirrors again. No expired tags. No broken lights. The car is 2 weeks old. He signals right, pulls onto the shoulder near the Maple Street overpass. Engine idles. He puts both hands on the wheel. Visible. Calm. This is the procedure. He's done it 100 times, but something feels wrong. 3 cars for a traffic stop. The first officer approaches fast, hand on holster. No smile, no courtesy wave. Sterling lowers the window. Good morning, officer. Can I ask? License and registration. Now, the tone isn't professional. It's hostile. Sterling reaches slowly for the glove box. My registration is right here. Stop. Hands on the wheel. He freezes. I'm just getting I said hands on the wheel. Sterling obeys. Both hands 10 and 2 visible. 2 more officers approach, 1 on each side. A 4th blocks traffic behind him with road flares. This isn't a traffic stop. This is a felony stop. Sir, Sterling says carefully. I don't understand what. Step out of the vehicle slowly and that's when it begins. Sterling steps out, hands raised, palms open. Officer, I'm happy to cooperate. Can you tell me what this is about? Turn around. Hands on the roof. He turns, spreads his fingers on the hot metal. The sun bakes the McLaren's hood, burns his palms. Officer Vance Miller pats him down. Rough, aggressive, hands dig into pockets. Pull out wallet, phone, keys. Everything hits the pavement. The phone screen cracks. Hey, that's shut up. A small crowd gathers across the street. A gas station. Morning coffee runs. A woman in scrubs. An older man with a dog. A teenager with earbuds, all watching. Phones come out. Miller grabs Sterling's wrist, twists it behind his back. Sir, I haven't done anything. Yeah, that's what they all say. The second wrist. Metal clicks. Handcuffs bite deep. Too tight. Deliberately tight. Officer, those are two. I'll decide what's too tight. Miller shoves him toward the curb. Hard. Sterling stumbles. His knee hits concrete. The suit jacket tears at the shoulder. Sit. Don't move. Sterling sits. Pavement hot through his pants, hands cuffed behind him, shoulder throbbing. Officer Miller, he says quietly. I'm a federal agent. My credentials are in my wallet. Miller picks up the wallet, flips it open, sees the badge, and laughs. Federal agent, right? And I'm the Pope. Sir, if you just verify, you can buy these on Amazon for $12. You think I'm stupid? I'm asking you to call. I'm asking you to shut your mouth before I add resisting to the charges. A rookie officer, young, maybe 25, stands nearby. He looks uncomfortable, shifts his weight, says nothing. Miller walks to the McLaren, peers inside, runs a hand over the doorframe. Let me guess, he calls out. You're a doctor, lawyer, tech CEO. I work for the FBI. Sure you do. Miller turns to the crowd loud enough for everyone to hear. They always got a story. Always got an excuse. A woman across the street, Latina, early 30s, scrubs, holds up her phone. Filming. The red dot of a live stream blinks in the corner. TikTok. Username at Witness Justice. Now the caption reads, Black man arrested for driving his own car. The view counter climbs 300, 500, 800 Miller Radio Dispatch Unit 1523 to dispatch. Possible GTA running plates now. The vehicle is a 2024 McLaren 720S California plate 8 JKT239. Static then, a woman's voice. Copy. 1523, standby. Sterling sits on the curb, hands numb, wrists bleeding where the cuffs cut in. A child across the street, maybe 7, holding his mother's hand, stares. Mommy, why is that man in handcuffs? The mother pulls him away. Doesn't answer. Sterling keeps his breathing steady. Controlled. FBI training. De-escalation. Compliance. Don't give them a reason. But his heart pounds. Not from fear, from rage. 25 years, 4 a.m. stakeouts, missed recital, missed games, climbing a ladder built on merit and sacrifice. And here he sits on a freeway shoulder, face streaked with dust, suit torn, cuffed like a criminal because he drives a nice car because Officer Vance Miller decided he doesn't belong in it. Dispatch crackles again. 1. Registration returns to Arthur Sterling Riverside. No wants, no warrants. Miller waves it off. Yeah, that's what the fake papers say. I'm bringing him in. Sterling closes his eyes. Breathes. Officer, please just verify my badge number. Call the FBI field office. It'll take 2 minutes. I know a stolen car when I see one. I know a con man when I hear one, and I know how this ends. Miller grabs his arm, yanks him to his feet. You're under arrest for grand theft auto and possession of stolen property. The crowd murmurs. The live stream hits 2,000 viewers. Comments scroll fast. This is insane. Call a supervisor. I've seen this before. What city is this? And then finally, a different voice on the radio. A supervisor. 1523, what's your 20? We need to talk. Miller freezes. The supervisor doesn't arrive for 6 minutes. 6 minutes where Sterling sits on the curb, where the sun climbs higher, where sweat soaks through his shirt, where the handcuffs cut deeper. 6 minutes where the live stream grows. 2,000 viewers, 3,000, 5,000. The woman filming, Elena Castillo, though Sterling doesn't know her name yet, narrates in real time. He's been sitting there for 10 minutes. They won't even let him explain. He keeps saying he owns the car. They won't listen. Comments flood in. This is Riverside County. File a complaint. I'm sharing this everywhere. Somebody call a lawyer, me, a white man, late 50s, khakis, polo shirt, approaches from the gas station. He's holding a coffee. "Excuse me, officer," he says. "I think you should listen to him." Miller wheels around. "Sir, step back." "I'm just saying. He seems step back or I'll arrest you for obstruction." The man raises his hands, backs away, but he doesn't leave. He stands at the edge of the crowd, watching. More people gather. A UPS driver, a woman with a stroller, 2 construction workers on break. All watching, all filming. Miller paces near the McLaren. Radio chatter crackles. 15:23. Sergeant Graves is en route. Do not move the suspect until he arrives. Miller's jaw tightens. He keys the mic. Copy. Standing by, but he doesn't look at Sterling. Won't make eye contact. The rookie officer name tag reads J. Reed shifts his weight again. He glances at Sterling, at the crowd, at Miller. Sterling catches his eye. "Officer Reed," Sterling says quietly. "Please just call my office. My FBI Los Angeles field office. Ask for Deputy Director Arthur Sterling. They'll confirm." Reed hesitates, looks at Miller. Miller snaps. "Don't talk to him." "But sir, if he's really," I said, "don't." Reed steps back, says nothing more. The complicity stings worse than the handcuffs. A black SUV pulls up. Sergeant Graves, early 40s, graying temples, weathered face, steps out. He walks to Miller. They talk in low voices. Sterling can't hear the words, but he sees Miller's gesture, sees him point at the car, at Sterling, sees him shake his head. Graves looks at Sterling long, assessing. Then he walks over. "Sir, I'm Sergeant Graves. What's your name?" "Arthur Sterling." "And this is your vehicle?" "Yes." "Can you prove that?" "My registration is in the glove box, my insurance card. The title is at home, but if you run the VIN, it'll come back to me." Graves nods. "We did." "It does." Sterling exhales then. "But Officer Miller says you presented a fake federal badge." "It's not fake. A lot of people buy badges online. Mine isn't from online, it's from Quantico." Graves studies him. "You're saying you're FBI?" "I'm saying I'm Deputy Director of the FBI, Western Region, based in Los Angeles. I oversee federal-local coordination across 6 states, including California." The words land like stones. Graves's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. That's a pretty specific claim. It's not a claim, it's a fact. Call the field office, extension 42425. Ask for my assistant, Sarah Chen. She'll verify. Graves glances at Miller, then back at Sterling. "Why were you pulled over?" "I don't know. I was going 68 and 70. No violations, no broken lights." He didn't say. "Officer Miller says you were driving erratically." "I wasn't. He says you match the description of a vehicle reported stolen in Anaheim last week. This car was purchased 2 weeks ago from McLaren Newport Beach. I have the bill of sale, I have the financing paperwork, I have everything." Graves doesn't respond. The live stream hits 8,000 viewers. Elena Castillo zooms in. The camera catches Sterling's face, the cut on his wrist, the torn jacket, the calm in his eyes. A comment appears. He's not even angry. That's the saddest part. Another. He knows if he gets angry, they'll call it resisting. Another. This is America. Graves keys his radio. Dispatch, run a badge verification. Federal name Arthur Sterling, FBI. Static. Then stand by, Sergeant. The wait feels infinite. Sterling watches Miller. Miller watches the McLaren. Reed watches the ground. The crowd grows to 30 people, maybe more. A news van pulls up. Channel 7. A reporter and cameraman spill out. Graves curses under his breath. The radio crackles. Sergeant Graves, be advised. Everyone freezes. Badge number returns to Federal Bureau of Investigation. Deputy Director Arthur Sterling. Confirmed active. Assigned to Los Angeles Field Office. High-level clearance. Repeat. Confirmed. Federal senior official. The silence is total. Miller's face drains white. Reed's eyes widen. Graves closes his eyes, opens them. Keys the mic. Copy, dispatch, understood. He looks at Miller. Uncuff him now. Miller doesn't move. Vance, uncuff him. Miller walks over. His hands shake as he pulls the key from his belt. The cuffs click open. Sterling stands slowly, rubs his wrists. Blood smears his cuffs. Miller tries to speak. Sir! There was a Sterling cuts him off. His voice is quiet, cold, absolute. Stop talking. Sterling picks up his phone. The screen shattered. He picks up his wallet, keys, dusts off his jacket. Miller stands frozen, mouth half open. Sir, there was a misunderstanding. Sterling looks at him. Just looks, doesn't speak. The silence cuts deeper than any words. Graves steps between them. Deputy Director Sterling, on behalf of the department, I apologize for Nome. Graves blinks. Sir, you don't apologize on behalf of the department. You're not authorized to do that. Your captain is. Your sheriff is, not you. Graves's face reddens. Sterling turns to Miller. Officer Miller. Badge number. Miller's voice cracks. 1523. How long have you been with the Riverside County Sheriff? 12 years. 12 years. And in 12 years, how many times have you pulled over a luxury vehicle and accused the driver of theft? Miller says nothing. I asked you a question, officer. I don't, let me guess. More than once. Less than 100, somewhere in between. The crowd presses closer. Every phone is up. The live stream count hits 12,000. Elena Castillo's voice narrates, he just asked how many times. He knows this isn't the first time. Sterling steps closer. Not threatening, just a presence. You told me I'm a con man. You told me guys like me don't own cars like this. You said you know a liar when you hear one. Miller stares at the ground. What did you mean by guys like me, Officer Miller? I didn't mean it. What did you mean? Silence. Sterling pulls out his badge. Gold FBI seal gleaming. This isn't from Amazon. It's from 25 years of service, 4 a.m. stakeouts. Missing my son's first steps. Missing my daughter's recital. Earning every inch of the career that bought that car. He points at the McLaren. I signed the federal grant applications for this department. I approve your funding. I coordinate your task forces. And today, Officer Miller, you put me on the ground because you couldn't believe I earned what I drive. Miller's lips tremble. Graves tries again. Deputy Director, if we could handle this quietly, Sterling finishes. Off the record with the phone call and a handshake. Graves doesn't answer. No. Sterling pulls out his phone, dials, speaker on. It rings twice. FBI Los Angeles Deputy Director's office. Sarah, it's Arthur. Sir, your meeting starts in 40 minutes. Are you? I need you to document something. Timestamp 10:14 a.m., June 6, 2024. I was unlawfully detained by the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. Officer Vance Miller. Badge 1523. Sergeant Graves supervising. I was handcuffed, accused of grand theft auto, and held for approximately 20 minutes despite identifying myself as federal law enforcement. Sarah's voice sharpens. Sir, are you injured? Minor lacerations. I'm fine. I need a formal complaint filed. I need the full dashcam footage from Unit 1523. I need the dispatch logs and I need internal affairs notified. Understood. I'll have legal start the paperwork immediately. Thank you. He hangs up. Graves's face is stone. Miller looks like he might vomit. Sterling pockets his phone. Looks at the crowd. Elena Castillo is still filming at the news crew setting up across the street. You should know, Sterling says to Graves, that this interaction is being live-streamed. 12,000 people are watching, and they just heard me request a formal investigation. Graves nods slowly. Understood. I want your names, your badge numbers, your supervisor's contact information. I want it now. Graves pulls out a business card, writes on the back, hands it over. Sterling takes it, doesn't look at it, just pockets it. One more thing. Graves waits. I'm driving to Los Angeles now. If I'm pulled over again between here and downtown for any reason by any department, I will assume it's retaliation, and I will respond accordingly. That won't happen. It better not. Sterling walks to the McLaren, opens the door, sits down. The engine starts smooth, controlled. He looks at Miller one last time. You should have listened. He drives away. The crowd watches in silence. Elena Castillo ends the live stream. Final view count 14,200. Final comment. This man is my hero. But for Sterling, nothing feels heroic. It feels like surviving something that never should have happened, and wondering how many others didn't survive it. The video goes viral in 6 hours. By evening, it hits 2 million views. By midnight, 5 million. By morning national news, CNN runs the headline, FBI Deputy Director handcuffed during traffic stop. Fox News federal official claims racial profiling in California arrest. MSNBC viral video exposes pattern of aggressive policing. The comment section explodes. Thousands of people share their own stories. Luxury cars, suspicious looks, random stops. But Sterling doesn't read them. He's in his office. Door closed, phone off. Phone. Sarah Chen brings him coffee. Sir, you have 43 interview requests. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. Decline them all. The sheriff's office called. They want to meet. Tell them to talk to my lawyer. Already did. She pauses at the door. Sir, I'm glad you're okay. He nods, doesn't look up. When she leaves, he sits in silence. Then his desk phone rings. Internal line. Sterling. Arthur. It's Morgan Frost, Internal Affairs, Riverside County Sheriff. Do you have a minute? He sits up. I'm listening. I need to meet with you, not officially. Not yet. Why? Because Vance Miller isn't the problem. He's a symptom. Sterling is silent. And I've been watching him for 8 months. They meet at a diner in Corona. Off the record, no recording devices. Lieutenant Morgan Frost is 44, 15 years in law enforcement, 8 in internal affairs. She orders black coffee, doesn't touch it. I saw the video, she says. I wasn't surprised. Why not? She slides a folder across the table. Because this isn't his first time. Sterling opens it. Case number BI-29-90847. Complaint filed by Miguel Santos, age 29, software engineer. Pulled over in his Lexus LS 500. Miller accused him of car theft. Detained 40 minutes. Released. No apology. Complaint marked unfounded. Case number BI-2121156. Complaint filed by Jasmine Taylor, age 34. Attorney pulled over in her BMW 7 Series. Miller searched her car, said she didn't look like a lawyer, found nothing. Complaint marked resolved informally. Case number BI-2120391. Complaint filed by Dante Banks, age 41. Physician pulled over in his Porsche 911. Miller accused him of drug dealing, searched, found nothing. Complaint marked no policy violation. Sterling flips pages. More complaints. More names. More expensive cars. More black and brown faces. 18 complaints in 5 years, Frost says. 14 involve minority drivers. 11 involve luxury vehicles. 0 resulted in discipline. Why? Because Captain Silas Thorne protects him. She slides another document across. Email thread from Captain S. Thorne to Lieutenant M. Frost. Subject: Miller Complaint Review. Date: March 15, 2023. Morgan, I've reviewed the complaint. Officer Miller followed procedure. The stop was justified. The complainant is oversensitive. Close the case. St. Sterling reads it twice. This is how you close investigations. That's how Thorne closes investigations. She pulls out another email highlighted from Captain S. Thorne to all patrol officers. Subject traffic stats Q2. Date April 2nd, 2024. Team, we're down 15% on vehicle stops compared to last quarter. Brass is watching. I need those numbers up. Focus on high traffic corridors. Be proactive. Let's show them what this unit can do. St. Sterling stares at it. Quotas. Unofficial. Unwritten, but real. That's illegal under California law. Tell that to Thorne. She spreads more papers on the table. GPS tracking data from patrol vehicles. Color-coded maps. This is Miller's patrol pattern over 6 months. See the clusters? Sterling studies it. Riverside Auto Mall, Country Club Drive, the shopping district near the university. He's hunting. Not for criminals. For stats. She taps another sheet. Overtime records. Miller claimed $42,000 in overtime last year, most of it logged as traffic enforcement operations. But look at the timestamps. She highlights entries. June 14, 2023. 6 hours OT. GPS shows his car parked at a Starbucks for 4.5 hours. July 22, 2023. 8 hours OT. GPS shows his car at the auto mall. Engine off. No calls logged. September 3, 2023. 7 hours OT. GPS shows his car at his own home. He's clocking hours. He's not working. And Thorne approves every claim. Sterling leans back. The pieces connect. Quotas push officers to make stops. Stops generate stats. Stats justify budgets. Budgets generate overtime. Overtime generates income. And nobody checks the work. Frost nods. Now expand it. She slides a final document. Payroll records. 7 officers highlighted. Miller, $42,000 OT. Officer Daniels, $38,000 OT. Officer Ruiz, $35,000 OT. Officer Kim, $31,000 OT. Officer Patterson, $29,000 OT. Officer Hughes, $27,000 OT. Officer Grant, $28,000 OT. Total $230,000. Wait, Sterling says you told me $180,000. I did. That was last year. This year it's climbing. How much do you think is fraud conservatively? Half, maybe more. Sterling does the math. $115,000. Taxpayer money stolen? Why are you telling me this? Frost meets his eyes. Because I've tried for 8 months to get someone to care. I filed reports, I requested audits, I escalated to Thorne, and he buried it. He said I was overzealous, he reassigned me to desk work, he froze my promotion. She leans forward. Then you got arrested on video for the whole world to see, and suddenly people care. Sterling studies her. What do you want from me? Help me burn it down. 2 days later, Sterling sits in a conference room with Frost and 3 others. Elena Castillo, the doctor who filmed the stop. She's nervous. Keep glancing at the door. I was pulled over by Miller in 2023, she says. I was driving my BMW to the hospital, emergency surgery. A child needed me. Miller didn't care. He detained me for 45 minutes, searched my car, made me late. Her voice cracks. The surgery had complications. The child lived, but I'll never know if those 45 minutes mattered. If I could have prevented it, she looks at Sterling. I filed a complaint. Nothing happened. I stayed quiet because I was scared. I'm done being quiet. Next is Edward Thorne. White, 52, owns a car dealership. Miller pulled me over last year. He says, I was test driving a customer's Porsche. He accused me of stealing it from my own lot. I showed him my business card, my license. He didn't believe me. He shakes his head. I didn't file a complaint. I'm white. I figured nobody would believe me. But now I realize it's not just about race. It's about power. He goes after anyone he thinks can't fight back. Third is Dante Banks, 23, college student. I drive a used BMW my grandmother left me when she died. He says I've been pulled over 7 times in 2 years. Same officer, Miller. Every time he says I match a description. Every time he searches my car. Every time he finds nothing. Every time he lets me go with a warning. He looks at the table. I'm not scared of getting arrested. I'm scared of the day he decides to plant something. Frost takes notes, record statements, collects dates, times, locations. 7 victims, 7 notarized affidavits, all describing the same pattern, all ignored by the same captain. Sterling makes a call. Not to the FBI. Not yet. To the California Department of Justice. This is Deputy Director Arthur Sterling, FBI. I'm requesting a formal audit of overtime claims and use of force complaints at Riverside County Sheriff's Department. I have evidence of systemic fraud and civil rights violations. I'm also requesting an independent investigation, not internal. The DOJ agent on the line is silent for a moment. Sir, that's a significant allegation. I have 18 complaints, 7 witnesses, financial records showing $230,000 in questionable overtime, GPS data proving falsified timesheets, and a captain who's buried every complaint for 5 years. Another pause. We'll open a case file immediately. Thank you. Sterling hangs up. Frost looks at him. Now what? Now we wait, and we watch because systems don't reform quietly. They fight back. The pushback starts in 24 hours. Riverside County Police Officers Association holds a press conference. County Courthouse steps. 50 officers in uniform stand behind the podium. Catherine Holt, union attorney, speaks. Officer Vance Miller is a dedicated public servant with 12 years of exemplary service, multiple commendations. He has served this community with honor. She pauses. The accusations against him are part of a broader anti-police agenda. Viral outrage. Officer Miller followed department policy. He acted on reasonable suspicion, and he is being crucified in the court of public opinion. A reporter shouts, "What about the 18 complaints?" Complaints are not convictions. Anyone can file a complaint. What about the video? The video shows a traffic stop. By the book. By afternoon, the narrative shifts. Conservative media. FBI official plays race card after routine stop. Police union defends officer amid politically motivated attack. Comments flood in. Thin blue line avatars. He was just doing his job. Sterling is using his power to destroy a good cop. Frost calls at noon. They're stonewalling me. What happened? I requested dash cam footage. Technical malfunction. 90 seconds missing. Sterling goes silent. Right around the time Miller made the theft accusation. And the IT administrator, Thorne's brother-in-law. Can you prove deletion? I'm trying, but Miller's on medical leave. Stress, won't be available for weeks. And the GPS data for the other officers. Files corrupted, all of them. Frost's voice drops. My captain called me this morning. Captain Reed told me to be careful. Said evidence can be interpreted many ways. Did he tell you to drop it? He didn't have to. Sterling hears fear in her voice. Morgan, are you okay? Just watch your back. She hangs up. That evening, Sterling gets a text. Unknown number. Drop this. You've got a daughter in college. Be smart. Maya is 16, not in college, but the threat is clear. He screenshots it, forwards it to FBI security, then calls Isabella. I need you to lock the doors. Set the alarm. If you see anything unusual, call me. Arthur, you're scaring me. I'm being cautious. They're threatening us. They're trying to. What are you going to do? My job. That night, he sits in the driveway. A patrol car drives by slowly. 9:00 p.m., then 11 p.m., then 1 a.m. Different cars, different officers, same message. We know where you live. Elena Castillo calls Frost the next morning. Someone came to my house. Who? 2 officers, not Miller. They said they were following up on my 2023 complaint from a year ago. Yes. They asked if I still wanted to pursue it. Said complaints sometimes hurt careers. Mine, not theirs. Did they threaten you? Not directly, but the way they looked at me. Morgan, I have a son. He's 8, They won't touch him, I promise. But Frost doesn't know if that's true. Week 2. The media narrative continues shifting. Did an FBI official overreact? Op-eds. When does accountability become retaliation? A retired police chief, Officer Miller, made a mistake. Does he deserve to be destroyed? The system protects itself. Not with lies, with doubt, with delays, with whispers that maybe the victim is the problem. Frost emails. Subject, we have a problem. My IA file was corrupted. 5 months of documentation gone. It says it's unrecoverable. Sterling calls immediately. Tell me you backed it up. Personal encrypted drive. I'm not stupid. Don't tell anyone. Not your captain. I won't. They're trying to bury this. You can still walk away. Long silence. My daughter's in college. Criminal justice major. Wants to be a cop like me. Last week she asked why I do this job if the system is broken. Sterling waits. I told her the system isn't broken. It's just run by people and people can change. Her voice hardens. I'm not walking away. Then we keep going. But when Sterling hangs up, he sits in darkness, thinking about quitting, about settling quietly, about protecting his family. Then he remembers the crowd on that curb, the 12,000 watching, the 84 complaints that disappeared. He opens his laptop, types a formal letter to the California Attorney General. Not a request, a demand. The Los Angeles Times receives a leaked email that same night from Captain S. Thorne to Union President Rick Voss. Subject, Sterling situation. We need to control this narrative before it spirals. Catherine is handling the media. Make sure everyone understands this was by the book. The paper runs on its front page. Internal email suggests coordinated response to FBI complaint. The headline changes everything. Week 3. The leaked email makes national news, but nothing changes. No investigation was announced, no officers suspended, just statements. We take these allegations seriously. The matter is under review. Empty words. Sterling goes to work, comes home, repeats. The McLaren sits in the garage. He hasn't driven it since that day. Friday evening. Maya comes home from school, drops her backpack, doesn't speak. Hey. Sterling says, how was your day? She shakes her head, goes upstairs. Isabella watches from the kitchen. She had a rough day. What happened? Kids at school. Some are saying you're lying, some are saying you're a hero. Everyone's taken sides. She's caught in the middle. Sterling closes his eyes. She came home crying yesterday, Isabella continues. Said she just wants it to stop. I know. Arthur, maybe we should think about... Don't just listen. Maybe we will settle quietly, take whatever they offer and move on. They're not offering anything. Then maybe we stop pushing. He looks at her. You want me to drop it? I want my family back. I want to stop looking out the window every time a car drives by. I want to stop worrying every time Maya leaves for school. Her voice cracks. I want you back. The man I married wouldn't sit in the garage every night staring at that car like it's cursed. Sterling has no answer because she's right. That night he sits in the McLaren again. Engine off, garage dark. His phone glows. He opens the video, watches himself on that curb, handcuffed, crowd watching. Miller's voice. Guys like you don't own cars like this. Sterling replays it again and again. His phone buzzes. Unknown number. He almost ignores it, then opens it. A photo. Maya walking to school taken from a car across the street. Yesterday's date was stamped in the corner. No message, just the photo. Sterling stares at the screen. His hands start shaking. He gets out of the car, walks to his office, opens the safe, his service weapon, Glock 22, loaded. He picks it up, feels the weight in his hand, thinks about the patrol cars circling his house, the anonymous texts, the photo of his daughter, thinks about what they're trying to do. Scare him, break him, make him quit. He sits at his desk, gun in front of him, and realizes something. You're winning. Not because they're right, because they're willing to go further than he is to threaten children, to corrupt evidence to protect each other no matter the cost. He's one man. They're a system. His phone rings. He doesn't answer. It rings again. He looks at the screen. Frost. He considers not answering. Considers telling her he's done, that he tried, that it's not worth it. But he picks up. Arthur. Her voice is urgent. I just got a call. Someone wants to help. A witness from inside. Who? Officer Reed. The rookie who was there that day. Sterling sits up. He says he can't stay silent anymore. He says Miller told him something the day before your stop. Something we need to hear. Sterling looks at the gun on his desk, then at the photo of his daughter. When can we meet him? Tomorrow. But Arthur, he's scared. If Thorne finds out, we'll protect him. Can we? Sterling puts the gun back in the safe, locks it. We have to. He hangs up, looks at Isabella standing in the doorway. She's been there the whole time. I'm sorry, he says. For what? For putting you through this. She walks over, sits beside him. You're not putting us through anything. They are. She picks up the phone, looks at the photo of Maya. So let's end it. They meet Officer Reed at a rest stop off the 60 freeway, Sunday morning early. Reed is 26, pale, hands shaking when he holds his coffee. I shouldn't be here, he says. Frost speaks gently. You're doing the right thing. The right thing gets you fired or worse. Tell us what you know, Sterling says. Reed looks around. No one was nearby. Still, he lowers his voice. The day before your stop, Miller was in the break room, bragging. He said he had a system. Said, rich guys and expensive cars always have something to hide. You just gotta find it. Find what? Anything. Drugs, warrants, unpaid tickets. He said, black guys with money, easiest targets. They never expect it. Sterling feels his jaw tighten. He said that? Those exact words? Yes, sir. Why didn't you report it? Reed looks at his hands. Because I'm 3 months out of the academy. Because Miller's been there 12 years. Because everyone listens to him, not me. Frost writes it down. Will you testify to this? If you protect me, we will. Reed nods, leaves quickly. Sterling watches him go. That's the intent, Frost says. Premeditation, not implicit bias, explicit targeting. It's also hearsay unless he testifies. He will. He's ready. Monday morning, Elena Castillo posts on social media. A video 2 minutes, her in scrubs, speaking directly to the camera. My name is Dr. Elena Castillo. In 2023, Officer Vance Miller pulled me over, detained me for 45 minutes, made me late for an emergency surgery. A child's life was on the line. Her voice steadies. I filed a complaint. Nothing happened. I stayed quiet because I was scared. But I'm not scared anymore. The video goes viral. 50,000 views in 2 hours, 200,000 by evening. Comments flood in. I was pulled over by him too. Same thing happened to me. This needs to stop. Tuesday, the Riverside Accountability Coalition organizes a town hall, a church on Mission Boulevard. Capacity 200? 300 show up. Sterling sits in the back, listens. Edward Thorne, the car dealer, speaks first. I'm white. I thought this only happened to minorities. I was wrong. Miller pulled me over in a customer's Porsche, accused me of stealing from my own lot. Dante Banks, the college student, goes next. 7 stops in 2 years. Same officer. Every time he says I match a description. Every time he searches my car. Every time he finds nothing. How many times is coincidence? An older black woman stands, voice shaking. My son was pulled over by Miller in 2021. He's a teacher, drives a used Audi. Miller made him sit on the curb for an hour, called him a liar, a thief. My son hasn't been the same since. One by one they speak. Different races, different ages, different cars, same story, same officer. By the end, 43 people have shared their experiences. Local news covers it. Channel 7, Channel 4. The story shifts again. Not FBI official versus cop, but community versus system. Councilmember Julian Hayes attends, takes notes, speaks last. I'm calling for an independent oversight board, civilian-led with subpoena power. This ends now. The crowd stands, applauds. Sterling stays seated. Watches. This isn't about him anymore. It never was. Wednesday morning, Frost calls. The California DOJ just opened a formal investigation into Miller, into the entire department, financial audit, civil rights review, everything. Sterling closes his eyes. We're not done yet, Frost says. But we're close. How close? Close enough that they're going to try something desperate. She's right. Thursday morning, the union files a lawsuit against Sterling. Defamation, $5 million. The lawsuit is a bluff. Sterling knows it. Frost knows it. But it buys time, delays the investigation, puts Sterling on defense. Catherine Holt holds another press conference. Deputy Director Sterling has engaged in a coordinated campaign to destroy Officer Miller's reputation and career. We are seeking $5 million in damages for defamation and emotional distress. The media runs with it. FBI official faces lawsuit. Police union strikes back. For 48 hours, the narrative shifts again. Some see it as desperation. Others see it as proof Sterling went too far. Then the California Department of Justice releases its preliminary audit. Friday, 9 a.m. press conference, Sacramento. The DOJ auditor, Victoria Knight, 20 years forensic accounting, speaks with clinical precision. Our review of Riverside County Sheriff's Department overtime records reveals significant irregularities. She clicks a slide. Numbers appear. Between January 2023 and June 2024, 7 officers claimed a combined $340,000 in overtime pay. Our GPS and dispatch log analysis shows that approximately 62% of claimed hours cannot be verified. Pause. That's $210,000 in fraudulent claims. Taxpayer money stolen. The room goes silent. Officer Vance Miller personally claimed $67,000 during this period. Our analysis shows he was off-duty, at home, or in stationary positions during 71% of his claimed overtime hours. Another slide. GPS tracking data. Heat maps. Captain Silas Thorne approved every claim despite multiple red flags, despite GPS data showing officers were not where they claimed to be. The slide changes. Email thread. We also recovered deleted emails from department servers. This one dated March 2024, from Officer Miller to Officer Daniels. The email appears on screen. Got 8 hours approved for last night. Told Thorne I was running traffic ops on the 91. Was actually home watching the game. Easy money. Gasps in the room. Another email. Miller to Thorne. Cap. Need you to approve my OT sheet. I know the hours look high, but we both know how this works. Thorne's response. Approved. Just be smarter about the paperwork. Knight continues. We also discovered that dashcam footage from Unit 1523, Officer Miller's vehicle, was remotely accessed and edited on June 6, 2024, at 2:19 p.m., 90 seconds of footage deleted. She clicks to another slide. The IT administrator who accessed the system is Leo Thorne, Captain Thorne's brother-in-law. The reporters erupt, questions shouted, cameras flashing. Knight raises her hand. We are recommending immediate criminal charges: wire fraud, conspiracy to defraud, obstruction of justice, destruction of evidence. She looks directly at the camera. This is not a case of a few bad apples. This is organized criminal activity within a law enforcement agency. By noon, The story is everywhere. DOJ finds $210K fraud ring in Riverside Sheriff's Department. Captain, 6 officers accused of systematic theft. Deleted dashcam footage tied to captain's brother-in-law. Holt's lawsuit suddenly looks absurd. By 2 p.m., she withdraws it. No statement. By 4 p.m., Miller's lawyer quits. By 6 p.m., Captain Thorne is placed on administrative leave. Frost calls Sterling. Did you see it? I saw it, Arthur. They're done. The DOJ is recommending a grand jury. When? 2 weeks, maybe less. Sterling leans back. Breathes. For the first time in a month, the weight lifts slightly. This isn't just about Miller anymore. Frost says it's about all of them, the whole system. Good. Thorne's trying to cut a deal, wants immunity in exchange for testimony. Will they take it? Depends what he offers. Sterling thinks about Thorne. The emails, the approvals, the cover-ups, let him sweat. Frost laughs, tired but genuine. We did it, Arthur. Not yet, but we're close. He hangs up, opens his laptop, reads the DOJ report in full. Every page, every email, every data point. The evidence is overwhelming, undeniable. Finally, Isabella appears in the doorway. I saw the news. He nods. Does this mean it's over? Almost. She sits beside him, looks at the screen. I'm sorry, I doubted. You didn't doubt. You were scared. That's different. I'm still scared. Me too. But less than before, because the receipts just spoke louder than any threat. The grand jury convenes August 15th, Riverside County Superior Court, closed session. Sterling is not allowed inside. Neither is Frost. Neither are the victims. They wait in the hall. Elena Castillo, Edward Thorne, Dante Banks, 40 others, silent, anxious. The proceeding lasts 3 days. Witnesses testify. DOJ auditors present evidence. Forensic accountants walk through the fraud. IT specialists explain the dash cam deletion. Officer Reed testifies for 2 hours, describes what Miller said, the targeting, the system, the culture. Thorne testifies. Granted partial immunity. He confirms everything. The quotas, the pressure, the overtime approvals, the cover-ups. He tries to minimize his role. I was following orders from above. The prosecutor asks, "Who above you ordered fraud?" Thorne has no answer. On day 3, Miller's attorney makes a final statement. My client made errors in judgment, but he believed he was acting within department policy. He is not a criminal. He is a police officer who made mistakes under pressure. The prosecutor responds, the evidence shows Officer Vance Miller systematically targeted minority drivers in luxury vehicles, that he falsified overtime records, that he participated in evidence destruction. These are not mistakes. These are crimes. August 18th, the grand jury returns its decision. The indictments are read in open court. Judge Patricia Moore presides. The courtroom was packed. Media in the gallery. Victims in the front rows. The people of the state of California versus Vance Miller. Miller stands. Civilian clothes. No uniform. Face blank. Count 1, deprivation of rights under color of law. Count 2, wire fraud. Count 3, conspiracy to defraud the United States. Count 4, obstruction of justice. Counts 5 through 14, additional civil rights violations. 14 counts total. The people of the state of California versus Silas Thorne. Thorne stands, graying, smaller than he seemed in uniform. Count 1, conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Count 2, obstruction of justice. Counts 3 through 11, aiding and abetting civil rights violations. 11 counts. 3 supervisors, 6 counts each. Conspiracy, fraud, obstruction. Leo Thorne, IT administrator. 4 counts. Evidence tampering. Judge Moore sets bail. $250,000 for Miller. $150,000 for Thorne. Miller's lawyer argues for lower bail. Denied. Thorne's lawyer argues he's not a flight risk. Denied. Bail is set. The next hearing is on September 10th. The gavel falls outside the courthouse. Councilmember Hayes holds a press conference. Today, justice moves forward, but indictments are not enough. We need systemic reform. He announces new policies effective immediately. Independent Civilian Oversight Board, 7 members, monthly public hearings, mandatory body cameras, footage retained for 5 years, no exceptions, ban on arrest quotas, enforced with financial penalties, quarterly audits of overtime claims, independent auditors only, mandatory de-escalation training, 80 hours per officer annually. These reforms are not optional. They are required and they are permanent. Elena Castillo steps to the microphone. Sterling told her she should speak. I'm a surgeon. I save lives. 2 years ago, Officer Miller made me late to an operation. A child needed me because he couldn't believe a Latina woman could afford a BMW. Her voice doesn't shake. That wasn't a mistake. That was a choice. Today, he faces consequences for that choice. But this isn't just about him. It's about a system that protected him for 12 years. She looks at the camera. To everyone who stayed silent because they thought no one would listen. We're listening now. To everyone who filed a complaint that disappeared, we see you now. To everyone who thought the system would never change, watch. Applause from the crowd. Sterling stands in the back, doesn't approach the microphone. This isn't his moment, it's theirs. Frost finds him. Trial's set for January. He'll plead out. Probably, but the others might not. Either way, it's done. She nods. They watch the press conference, the victims speaking, the reforms announced, the crowd is growing. Thank you, Frost says. For what? For not being silent. 6 months later, Vance Miller pleads guilty to 9 counts, sentenced to 8 years federal prison, no parole. Silas Thorne pleads guilty to 6 counts, 4 years, banned from law enforcement permanently. The 3 supervisors take plea deals, 2 to 3 years each. All stripped of pensions. Leo Thorne, 18 months, probation after 6. The trials never happen. The evidence is too strong. The reforms take hold. The Civilian Oversight Board meets monthly. Public hearings transparent. 7 community members review every complaint. In 6 months, 18 officers are dismissed for past violations. 42 receive retraining. 3 are referred for prosecution. Overtime fraud drops 91%. Body camera compliance 100%. Complaints filed up 40%. Complaints sustained up 180%. Not because the department got worse, because people finally believe they'll be heard. Arthur Sterling drives the McLaren again. Saturday morning, Maya in the passenger seat, heading to brunch. Dad, have you ever thought about that day? Every day. Does it still make you angry? He thinks about it. The handcuffs, the curb, the crowd. No, not anymore. Why not? Because anger without action just eats you alive. But action changes things. They merge onto the 91. Same freeway, same route. No sirens behind him. He thinks about the open line from that day. Power doesn't announce itself, but accountability does in receipts, in testimonies, in people who refuse to look away. The engine hums smooth, controlled, earned. This time, no one questions it. If this story matters to you, share it. Comment with your own experience. You're not alone. Systems change when light shines on them. Subscribe to Black Voices Uncut for more investigations where the truth wins because the work isn't done. It's just beginning. We don't polish away the pain or water down the message. We tell it like it is because the truth deserves nothing less. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next. Moral lesson and life skill. The power of composure and documentation. This story serves as a profound lesson in integrity over ego. When Arthur Sterling was shoved into the dirt, he didn't fight back with his fists. He fought back with his character. The world may try to define you by your appearance or your possessions, but your true power lies in your ability to remain calm when the world is chaotic. The life skill. Strategic documentation. In any situation of injustice, whether at work, in the street, or within a system, remember that anger is a feeling, but evidence is a fact. Arthur survived because he knew the procedure, kept his hands visible, and immediately began a verbal paper trail on a recorded line. The takeaway. Never let someone else's prejudice provoke you into becoming the villain they want you to be. Stay calm, record the truth, and let the receipts do the talking. A system can ignore a person, but it cannot ignore the truth once it is brought into the light. Integrity isn't just about doing the right thing. It's about having the strength to stand still while the wrong thing is happening to you. Knowing that justice is built one documented fact at a time.